Hi guys, my name is Natalie Thomas, and I'm doing my behavior change project over the behavior of drinking out of an open cup with lips to the rim of cup, transferring that behavior from drinking out of a sippy cup or a bottle. So that's the behavior that I am working towards in my behavior change project. And the article that I am introducing today for that project is called Reducing Tube Feeds and Tongue Thrust, an Oral, Motor, and Behavioral Approach to Feeding by Bridget B. Gibbons, Keith E. Williams, and Catherine E. Regal. The purpose of this study was to build upon the limited research that is on this topic by examining a treatment package combining oral motor and behavioral approach to the treatment of a child with food or drink refusal or tongue thrust. Now, tongue thrust is when in the resting position, the anterior or lateral positions of the tongue contact more than half the surface area of the upper or lower incisors, cuspids, or bicuspids, or protrude between the teeth when or during swallowing any liquid, solids, or saliva. And there is a visible observation increase of force, degree of protrusion, and the amount of surface area of the teeth contacted by the tongue. So that's what tongue thrust is, and that's what causes some of the swallowing issues in feeding for kids with autism. They don't have that oral motor development. So that's kind of what this article is talking about. The dependent variables for this article are the intake of food, the acceptance of food to the mouth by opening the mouth, mouth clean, which is considered after 30 seconds or after an observed swallow, there is a pea size or less amount of food or drink still in the mouth. So that's what would be considered mouth clean. The other dependent variables are the gag reflex, when there's still food or particles in the mouth, that there isn't a gag, and expel, which is spitting out or vomiting out the food, and then any negative vocalization or protest to the giving of food during this study. So those are the dependent variables. The independent variable is the tongue thrust, the observation of that tongue thrust during the different feeding sessions. The inter-observer agreement for this study was shown that 19.89% agreement on the feeding sessions. The mean agreements for dependent variables ranged from 89.9% to 95.7%. The results of this treatment showed the effectiveness of eliminating food or drink refusal, tube feeding, and also reducing tongue thrust. And in conclusion, it showed that the combination of the oral motor treatment and the behavioral approach treatment, combining them together, caused an effective elimination of these feeding issues in this client, and it was a great foundational study and a good model to use for future research. The limitations on this study weren't spoke upon much during the article, but based off of my observation and my knowledge, one of the limitations would be that they only use one participant versus more participants to see the generalization between different diagnoses, severities, all those types of things. And also just the lack of research there is on this topic could be a limitation to their study and the interventions that they used. So that's my article that I am using for my reference for my behavior change project. I hope you all have learned a little more about tongue thrust and feeding issues that are seen in autism. Have a great day. Thanks.